Well, today I've got a high pressure injector leak on a 2019 CGR FKS. You hear a hissing underneath the intake. I've already took the intake off. I'm going to pull the lower intake and see if I can pressurize the system, because it is a high pressure system. I'll try to crank it over, build up enough pressure. I'm pretty sure it's the second one back, but you can't really see from up here. So that's where I'm going to start with. Now here I'm just taking this pry bar, I'm not actually prying up on it, I'm just twisting it sideways. That way it'll help hold the wiring harness up, and then that way I can ease the intake off the studs to lift it, to pull it out. Now I want to put this somewhere. Disconnected. Now I'm going to move this out of the way where it's clear of the fan, so I can crank it over and build up some pressure on the high pressure system with the injectors disconnected. Now here I can see that it's seeping out of the top of number 4 injector. So now I found my leak. Now I'm going to pull the rail out, which is a pain, and see why it's leaking there, and make sure that it's not the rail that's cracked or an injector that may be cracked. I'm going to start by removing this crossover fuel pipe, and I'm going to remove the 2 studs here after I remove the 2 nuts and the 2 bolts. That way you don't have to raise it above the studs. You can wiggle it back and forth and get the fuel rail off the injectors. And I'm going to remove that number 10, and that way I can slip my harness back without disconnecting it. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug my holes. That way I don't have to take a chance on anything getting off down in the cylinders.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? I thought you wanted some music. I'm feeling good as hell.
Yeah, I got to have some background music in this if we're going to do it.
Well, as long as you say Toyota, let's go places the right way this time.
We're going places.
We're going places, not anymore.
You're welcome. Oh, there it is. Look where she's cut right there.
Trying to get it right.
You can see it split.
I got a big performance this weekend.
I ain't gonna pull it out yet, but look where it's missing stalls.
Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's what we want.
That's some factory.
It's always nice when you can find something that you know is going to fix something.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah, now I know that when I put the new O-rings.
99% sure.
Yeah, I know it was leaking there, but I can't find nothing wrong with it.
Which cylinder was that?
That's number 4 cylinder.
Yeah, that's a good
I mean,
one
it's
there.
not even playing no games. You can.
That's easy to do with an injector.
I don't know
too,
how the hell it's gone 11,000 miles. I wonder if it's been seeping all this time. The guy ain't realized.
That's the hiss, though. That makes sense why you got a hiss and not just a spray.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's always, like I said, it's nice to find stuff like that.
Yeah, I like.
But I'm like you, had to go 11,000 miles. I get it when somebody's AC wasn't working and they got 3,000 miles. And now it's summer.
Yeah.
Shit like that. It could have just.
If you look, they got the top one's got a little indentation on them, and the bottom one's flat, and it has got. Let's see if that thing can slide off there without me losing it. It's got a little cone shape, and let's see if there's anything else about it. But the flat will go top. And it does, if you look right there, it's split. They're all split, so if you think that's a problem, it's not. And sometimes you won't notice, but it's got 3 layers. And let's see if it'll drop out there. I believe it's supposed to be blue, but the little indentation is going to be upward. You look at that those slots in it. Little upper, hold down. Get a click when it goes on there. Make sure we got our slots at the top. Now we're gonna go ahead and replace the other three too. There's that piece. See, if you don't watch out, you'll pull it off and don't realize it's on there. So make sure you don't forget to put it back on there. And be sure you don't drop this down inside there either. Alright, slots up our lower pieces on there with the beveled end down. Now these, like I say, you'll feel them snap on there. I don't think you can hear it. Almost feels like you're popping your thumb. Now we're going to assembly lube real good around it. And our injector rail, we're going to assembly lube a lot in it, and then we're going to walk it down. Alright, get the black one down, the lower one, it's kind of brown, got a over. Got our blue one with our notches up, orientation doesn't matter. So make sure you got all three of these. When you take it off, make sure you got all three of these. If not, it may be in the fuel rail. Now we're going to put a generous amount of assembly lube. Now look at these springs. You're going to make sure that they're square and that little tab is ready to line up in the holes of the injector right there above the injector hole. Now this ain't gonna be easy, you gotta be patient with it. Just ease it down over top of the O-rings on the injectors. You wanna make sure that you got plenty of assembly lube on the injectors and up inside the rail. And I'll take and ease these, go ahead and put my wiring harness hold downs across it. And then I'll slowly work it over top, make sure all three of the injector O-rings is setting down in the hole. Then I'll take and start working it back and forth. Once I make sure it's square, you notice right there it all set even. I want to look at these springs and make sure that the springs is lining up with the holes. Then I'm going to take and start working it back and forth, and you'll feel it starting to go down. Now I just want to run my rail down, kind of snug it down. I'm going to start with 7 foot-pounds, and then I can, once I get it snug, square, I'm going to take and put on my crossover fuel rail. Now on my fuel rail, I like to take and just hand tighten it down and kind of feel to make sure that it's going down kind of in the same spot where it wants to fit naturally. Before I torque my crossover, I'm going to go ahead and do a final torque on my fuel rail at 19 foot-pounds, and then I'll come back and torque my crossover pipe. Now my crossover pipe, I'm going to use a crow's foot, and it's going to torque at 22 foot-pounds. I'm just going to use this pry bar to help hold up the back of the harness so I can get my lower intake put in. I'm going to take a little bit of brake clean, spray on a rag, and then I'll just wipe off this caramelized oil on the bottom of it before I install it. Now if you notice here where I've when I flip it over that I never took the low pressure fuel rail line loose, and that way I don't have gas spilling out everywhere. I'll take right here and then I'll ease up on the back of the harness, and then that way I can line it up on the studs and it'll drop down in the perfect spot, and it's ready to be torqued now. Now I usually start out in the middle and work my way around. I'm just going to start out probably 7 or 8 foot-pounds. That way I draw the whole piece down all in Then I'll come back and torque it at the final torque of 15 foot-pounds. Now it's time for the upper intake of the plenum, and then I'll take and torque it down. I like to start by loosely attaching the screws to the brackets on the side. There's 3 brackets on each side, and then I'll come back and do a torque on my intake plenum. Now my plenum, I'll take and start it about the same way, halfway. I'll do about 7 foot-pounds, and then I'll come back through and do a final of 15 foot-pounds. That way I'll pull it all down evenly. Now on my brackets, I can come back and hit them 15 foot-pounds. 3 brackets, got 2 on the side and 1 in the front. With my throttle body, I make sure the gasket's good. If you'll notice, I didn't take my hoses loose. That way I don't have to drain any coolant. I just take the wire loose and take the 4 bolts out of the throttle body. That way I don't have to worry about adding coolant, waiting for it to warm up, anything like that. Now I'm going to torque my 4 number 10s. I'm going to crisscross them. I'm going to torque them at 7 foot-pounds, and then reattach my wire, and see, now I don't have to let the thermostat open up or burp the coolant out. Now then we'll evap control valve. Go ahead and push our tubes in. Alright. And our purge hose. Clamp. Sometimes it might take a second to cook off. Have to let it run for probably 10 or 15 minutes. I want it to get it up to temperature. We'll recheck it again and make sure we got no check engine light. And we'll be good to go. I believe we're good to go. We're good to go. We'll start her up and see what we look like. All lights is off.